Guts of Iron.
This is Luke from Luke Talks, and today I'm going to teach you how to be a leader. So, yes, leading is a skill that isn't just for the men in the suits. It isn't just for people in authority. Anyone can be a leader. Anyone can be a leader, and that's why I think it's so powerful. It's not just for people who are in authority tend to be more should be leaders, but I think it's a trait that anybody could have. So step one, you're going to want consistency. You show up at work and you do your job well at 6 a.m. and you leave at 3 p.m. You leave at 8 p.m. You want consistency because then people can trust you more and rely that you'll be there. So consistency, I feel, is a big part of being a leader. Don't break off of routines in the middle of things, because that can take people's trust and punch it. So don't do that. You have to stick to your routines, and you have to stick to your word as well. And be predictable. You're going to want to be predictable when you're being a leader. What's another thing? Well, another thing is coaching and managing. These things sound very similar, but they're not. They're completely different. They're completely yin-yang. No. Okay, so coaching is basically, if you imagine a football coach. You can do it. Come on, do this, that, the other. Helping you is kind of like a guider for that being. So it's the person being coached by someone who is motivating them, finding what drives them to do something. So coaching is more for people coaching is finding the motivations for that person who is doing that job. And managing is finding out. Okay, I need to cut this out. Coaching is basically looking over someone and finding ways to inspire and motivate them to do the job better. Managing is more of, sometimes you have to be the hard guy, the big bad guy, and you have to make the hard decision. So you have to inspire and listen, but sometimes you have to tell them when they're doing something wrong. Managing is trying to get everyone to work together in a cooperative manner. So back in World War II, when Winston Churchill, the monarch of Great Britain, right? He has Navy ships, right? And they're going into the sea but they're being taken over by the Nazis during World War II. So these people are taking over Great Britain's ships, and there were a bunch of great sailors on the ships who were Britain's great army, and they were being held hostage in the ship while it was being sailed out into the middle of the sea. And so Winston Churchill had to make the tough decision of destroying the ships, because if they would have reached the U.S. and take over the United States Army, that would have been pretty much Nazis taking over the world in the future. So Winston had to destroy the ships, and it was a hard decision for him to do, but he had to do it. So that's the example of making the hard decision and having you to make the hard decision. You're also going to want to outwork, which is number 3. Influence. Be a role model. Be the change you'd want to see in the world, as Gandhi says. And find what motivates them and get things done. If you get things done, people will rely on you to get their projects done and the group vision done. Don't quit, because that is kind of what I've been saying. Be predictable, but if you quitting is a horrible habit, and it's a habit that isn't a lot of our daily society. Oh, I don't like that job, I'm just gonna quit it. Well, actually, that's different. But I don't like that class. I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it. I'm going to quit it. It's kind of a habit that comes into play. And when it comes into trying to be a leader, it can be bad because people won't trust you, and you have that mindset of always quitting, which it's okay to get out of situations when you know it's not working out, which I think is a good trait to have, like figure out what's not working and what is. But it's also really important to try to see out through what you're doing, because then you'll look more reliable and you might have more accomplishments in the future because you're willing to go through it more. So do that. Don't quit. And also, number 5, have a set of values and stick to them. What do you think Tupac stood for? What do you think Steve Jobs stood for? What do you think all these people stood for? They stood for values that meant something to them. So have something that you believe in that you can rely on. I think having a set of values is really important when doing that. So yeah, have a set of values and don't go against them. For example, Warren Buffett says, I don't work with technology. And that's kind of cool because he hasn't worked with technology. Even though the Silicon Valley is booming, he prefers to stay in investing in other places, which is really interesting. Warren Buffett. Hashtag Warren Buffett. Anyways, so that was my video on Luke Talks. Number 1, consistency, coaching versus managing, outworking, don't quit, and have a set of values. Thank you for watching this episode of Luke Talks. Have a great day.